Hey, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to Katawa Shoujo. We are in the class the next afternoon. And yeah, let's continue. I'm 2 problems into my math logic worksheet when a folded up piece of paper hits me in the head. I'm sure I know whom it's from, but I quickly look around the classroom anyway just in case. It's from Hanako. Unfortunately not. No one in this classroom is good at acting casual. I can tell that everyone saw who threw it at me, and looking at the culprit herself, it was obviously Shizune. She isn't even trying to be coy about it. I mean, it's funny that I kind of tried to get on this route, and I know it's already the route that it's definitely not going to be my favorite. Despite not knowing anything about the other routes. But you know, I got this onto myself and I still complain. Anyway, the countryside is so different. At my old school, I would have no idea who it was right now. I would know most likely. But then again, I think I only was doing this in primary school and junior high school. In high school, not really. Opening up the note, it says, "I break up with you." This would be funny. "Misha is absent. Help me out today after school." Oh, what's going on with Misha? Listen, I maybe could, but Misha's absence is more important right now. We need to find her out. Detective mode. I don't understand what's with the note. Why can't you just use sign language? A large part of how I learned sign language was by copying Misha's style of signing her words as she speaks. So I end up blurting the sentence out as loud as I sign it to Shizune. A slight laugh goes around the room. How awkward. I'll help if I don't have to do a lot. That's silly. Obviously, if Misha is absent, you have to help as much as 2 people. I don't know if that really means anything. After all, Misha was complaining yesterday, mostly about how Shizune wouldn't let her help. I don't do much assist either. After pretending to think it over for a bit, I write her note back telling her I will. I'm actually happy that she asked me. No, I'm not. Because I've been meaning to talk to her for a while. No, I didn't. I haven't. Kind of. It's a good opportunity, but I feel I should at least make it look I'm putting up some resistance to the idea. I go back to my worksheet and immediately get stuck on the 3rd problem. After trying to work around it, I casually toss my own note over to Shizune. It says, "Why is Misha absent? And what's the answer to question 3? She told me that she was sick and her stomach hurts. Misha gets stomach aches a lot, but I wish she picked a better time for it this week." Yeah, like she can pick a time. Use sign language. I think she has a stomach ache because of the way she sucked down a parfait larger than her head the other day. If she gets them quite often, either it's a coincidence or she has a habit of eating things that can put her in debilitating pain. Sorry. I noticed the teacher staring at us disapprovingly. I don't blame him. We're talking in class and with sign language in quite a visible distracting way. I'd like clearing my throat to back out of a confession, but Shizune doesn't get the hint. Well, obviously, before I try to get the message across, again with my hands covered, I can see Shizune notices what's up. She just doesn't care. Do you still want to know the answer to question 3? I'll tell you, but you have to give me the answer for question 25. Hey, I was just thinking about how the teacher who didn't know sign language could think we were abusing it and using it to cheat. If you were to assume the worst, I can't believe you're actually doing that, and I'm not up to 25. You want to know the answer to 3 was? You asked first, hypocrite. You're the student council president, you can't cheat. I don't have time for this, and I think I'm turning the teacher's patience to the breaking point. I'd like to continue taking pot shots at her while working the math problems in front of me, but it will require at least 2 extra hands. Shizune is a bit more creative and gets around this limitation value. Dang. I wonder if learning sign language back in my time would allow me to cheat. I'm pretty sure none of my teachers knew the sign language at all, so would they realize if we as students knew it and we, signed all of that? I mean, I guess with, let's say it was ABC. No, I mean, they would get the gist of it, for sure. On the tests, for sure. During lessons, maybe they wouldn't care. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever. Shizune is a bit more creative and gets around this limitation by using long semi-broken strings of simpler words. I take up mental notes in between being this by a couple of particularly long equations. Right before the bell rings, she cups her pen and triumphantly slams it on her desk with an ear-popping crack that makes the whole room jump. Quickly forgotten because everyone would rather go to lunch than question its origin. After a couple of brief stretches, she gets up and hovers around my left shoulder. Are you still not done? I was going to ask if you want me to hand in yours too while I was up. Someone distracted me. I had to beg the teacher give me 9 minutes between now and the end of passing to finish it. It's not easy to solve this one-handed while having conversation, by the way. He wasn't happy with the request, wanting to get out of here as much as I do. Since I'm only one problem away from finishing, it looks like she doesn't really believe me. The second that I'm done handing it, I find myself being dragged to the student council room. I really don't like her. In the end. It's annoying that, she wants everyone... Wait, what's the saying? She wants everyone to play according to her drums? Something like this. There was a saying like this. Whatever. It's early and annoyingly clean. I can't find what I was working on yesterday. Where's everything? I did some cleaning. That doesn't tell me anything! See, it's like forgot where you even put the stuff you put away. Well, if I can find it, I guess I'll just go home! It's in the drawer right there. Shizune sucks as I pull out the posters I was working on and then shuffle them around a little, since she stacked them by color. What for? It's not that I am taunting her, I just have my own system, although I doubt she would believe me if I were to tell her. I put the one I finished over the one I finished before. Over the one that was finished even before. I like it when things are a little messy. Yeah, it's more natural and a time saver. It's alright where I left it. And I don't have to go looking through shelves just to find what I was working on yesterday. He's got a point. I mean, not too messy, but I like my things being slightly messy. The mess that is under control, basically. Lazy. That's not true. I'm not lazy, you just always go too far. That's true. She always goes too far. I quickly glanced at her desk. A memo pad neatly placed at one corner. Behind it, a small desk calendar with each box filled with notes in a neat but microscopic handwriting. Okay, my notes were freaking amazing. Off the right, 3 boxes of pens in blue, black and red. Look! You even put the pens back in the original box at the end of each day, all color-coded every... I don't think that can be even called being a neat freak! What do you do with them? Throw them back on your desk? Yeah! I bet she keeps the cables for phones and so on in the original boxes as well. Meanwhile, this guy has every single cable, okay, not really every single one of them, but over here. That's how it should be. I mean, I have some somewhere else as well. Okay, over here I have literally every single thing. Documents, notes. I even have kinesiology tape over here. I have everything here. Everything that's needed. Hey, I think that's being organized. Yes! You're so disorganized you can't even comb your own hair down properly. What are you talking about? I mean, who cares about combing hair? I actually can do that and I'm ready to go. I mean, your hair aren't that combed really. That hurts. No, it doesn't. It's not like I don't try, it just won't stay flat. I pick up both pens and quickly pop it open to see if she also puts them in so that they are all facing the same direction. She understands what I'm thinking and doesn't look very amused. She does that for sure. It turns out that the box wasn't closed properly on the bottom, and as soon as I pick it up, they immediately pour out it like a waterfall. Woo! My fault, I'll get them, don't worry. I bent down to pick up the pens, forgetting that with her attention focused on them, she couldn't have possibly seen me signing her. Shizune's head bumps into my chest, not very hard, but it amounts to be enough to make me fall over. And it triggers my heart attack. I laughed off and expect her to do the same. When she stiffens and backs away from me instead, a feeling of dread begins to creep over me. That is a weird reaction. I start to think about why she would have such a strange reaction. It's really obvious she just bumped head first into someone with a heart condition. Shizune would know I have one. From where? You never said it. Seeing the rows of pills lining the edge of my dresser. Does she know what the pills are for? Did she read what the freaking pills were exactly, the names? Probably not. Or at the least, she'll know I have something severe enough to require that much education, but not visible at a glance. Just because of that, it doesn't mean it must be hard. Okay? It might be something else. It can be multiple other stuff, unfortunately. Anyway, so she's treating me like I'm made of glass. For her, it's the natural way to react. I hadn't forgotten how she freaked out back when Emmy knocked into me. Why would be any different for her? I'm sure she's remembering that right now. I can see it on her face. She looks angry at herself. Oh, she looks like... It would be a good opportunity to bring up that time. Even if I don't want to drag it back up, it would be a good idea too. It would clear the air. Still, I'm afraid I'd end up saying nothing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Partly because, as I imagine, having to draw her attention from the floor and then having to sign what kind of a cripple I am to get one gesture at a time, that begins to seem more and more depressing. You know what's depressing? The fact that you still haven't talked about that with the two of them. I mean, it's been months. I don't know actually how much time it's been. Taking a seat, I decided to just try and finish up the posters to get my mind off of it. There are some that I don't remember making. From the wall-to-wall text and ultra neat handwriting, I tell Shizune must have done this. That means that the remainder must have been done by Misha. There are a lot more visual, with cute little stylized pictures of us on them. I don't know how I feel about being used as a mascot character. That would be neat, but I'm not really thrilled by it. Some time passes, of course, long enough for the sun to start setting. I hear Shizune putting down her pen and cracking her knuckles methodically. One at a time, I can do that, if I don't know if it will be. No, we're not cracking too well today. Yeah, it's pretty... No, it doesn't work today. Maybe because of the cold? Whatever. Or maybe I cracked it earlier, whatever. One time, it's so loud in the silence of the room that I look up, wondering if she's trying to get my attention. Although it wasn't what she intended, when she noticed me looking at her, she begins to sign without skipping me a beat. Let's take a break. I'm surprised you would say that. It's okay, almost done the way, and I'm hungry, aren't you? No. Actually, between the episodes, picked something up this time. A little. But again, I will need to prepare dinner as well still. I'm really hungry. We could order something or whatever. I was thinking of you. I already have something to eat. Oh! Where? She produces a cinnamon bun. Ugh, cinnamon. I freaking hate cinnamon. From under her desk, raising it to the head level slowly, like a magician levitating the rock. But there's only one. Not enough for both of us. It's fine. I hate cinnamon. Ah, how dramatic. I don't know what this means. A feeling of déjà vu briefly washes over me. We could just split it. No, we could not. I hate cinnamon. That's no fun. So boring. Let's play shogi for it. Or I could just go out and buy something. Damn. Surely has to be bored out. The desk must have everything in it. I mean, at first it was kinda annoying. Now it's plain. Still annoying, but also boring. The fact that she's all constantly wanting, you know, to gamble for everything, sorts of. Not chess. Chess has boring promotions. This is better. I know about that. Well, I'm actually pretty decent at shogi, so it's fine. I've never played shogi. Oh no, the creepy expression. Is that so? Okay, we can make it a little more interesting then. Each move has to be completed in 30 seconds. You can add roll too. No thanks. And I think I could add would only hurt me more than it would help. A 30-second time limit is already too tight. For me, sorry, dog. It'll make me regret thinking it was alright to brag a little. After she wins the right to go first in a quick coin toss, she immediately starts playing with the aim of rolling all of her pieces as soon as possible. It seems like a very basic playstyle, and I can't help thinking it might be a trap of some sort. It's not fault. The draw of this game to Shizune appears to be the fact that she can upgrade her pieces and steal mine. She's very good at it, but it makes her predictable. I end up doing a little better than I expected to. The 30-second time limit is pretty painful though. The game ends in a draw. At this point, I think you're supposed to go free match or tally the pieces for points. Shizune doesn't want to go again in the interest of time, but winning on points clearly doesn't satisfy her. She sits there shifting Silver General from one edge to the other as she contemplates which of those two options she'll go for. It takes so long that I think she has forgotten about the bet. Eventually stops fiddling with the shock piece and puts it down. Is Misha angry at me? Who cares? I wouldn't be surprised. That really came up nowhere. For some reason she might be. Shizune's frankness is disorienting because with her any kind of candor is a sign of total seriousness. There is no playful smile on her face. Instead, it's her usual stoic mask of concentration ready to try and see if I'm about to tell her the truth. I'm upset that she thinks that I would tell her anything else, but I also know now that they have probably fought recently out of my sight, and it makes me feel warm to know that they both care about each other so much. Though I strongly doubt it. Did you know that she thinks you're angry at her? Oh, boy, stomatologist. Shizune nods slowly and uncomfortably. Yes. What? What's up? She was more roundabout with the question than you. Kind of surprising because I thought that you were the one who liked playing games. Not all the time. Bullshit. Aren't we having some kind of fight? No. You sure? She's very quick to deny it. And not happy with the fault. I feel like I've stepped on a landmine. Sorry, actually, yes, just a tiny one. What did you do? I know that she has no interest in the student council. She only joined because of me. I'm still grateful. I'm so happy she's my friend, but I don't understand what she's upset about this time. What did you do? Why don't you just ask her? She won't tell me. I'll figure it out myself instead. Oh, for fuck's sake, the most stupid way. I was sure that I was very perceptive, even if I can't hear. That was dumb. I know better now. It is probably something that is my fault. I mean, that's definitely that. Shizune doesn't elaborate further on what it could have been. I'm sure that it is because she does not fully understand the situation herself. It's odd to think that Shizune usually so sure of everything could be scared by a little argument with a friend. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. I don't know what that dog wants. They are a lot closer to each other than normal friends, and Shizune is pretty isolated from other people in a way. The fact that she's deaf is no small part of it. But I get the feeling that she uses Misha as a buffer between other people of her own, will not just because it's been forced on her. She can communicate well enough with her little pad, she just hates it. After such a long time of talking through another person, I guess you start to lose touch. It seems unavoidable. It isn't such a far out idea to think that she isn't that great with people. Well, yeah. I returned to working, kind of wanting to eat the cinnamon bun more as time drags on, which is a lie because I had those, but when I count the sugar pieces still left out on Shizune's table, I can tell at a glance she would win. I'm also too hungry to concentrate if we were to have a rematch. Motivated by my desire to wrap up and eat something, I put the finishing touches on the last of the posters. Done! I think this is many enough. Too many can be a bad thing. Okay. That's it. Just okay.
I'll probably do some myself after I'm done picking what voting format to go with.
Yeah, too many posters is bad too. Haven't you even ever heard of oversaturation? I really think you're trying too hard. Yeah. 10 tinker fingers Shizune looks like she could almost admit it.
Maybe.
It's what Misha thinks too. I watch her fingers continue uneasily twining around and pulling at each other in a miniature tug of war. I might but ask her around in a couple classes today and the interest is low. It's like you said, so...
Does that make it wrong?
No, but does make it kind of pointless.
It's not.
It is. Yes, it does. It does make it pointless. Yeah, but to who? I doubt even Shizune really believes that.
I do all this work just for my own ego.
You sure? That isn't what I mean. You sure for? The first chance to be alone with her in days, and I have already really cocked it up. Still, she doesn't actually look angry. I wouldn't care either way. It's more like she's frustrated that she can't express herself clearly enough. Since she's an expert in language, I wouldn't think that would be the case, and I read this actually about whatever. I wonder what advantage being able to speak would offer her, and if she has ever thought about it. Annoying people more easily?
It's another project of mine. Just like the festivals, I'm going to do it, because it's my job. It's just that the student council election isn't as fun as festivals, so no one cares.
You could make it fun then. But probably that's not the goal here. She briefly turns her fingertips together as if to say, but maybe. There is some truth to it, but Shizune doesn't want to say anything that could be boiled down to something so glib.
But I don't care. I want to get people riled up, but it isn't but me. I don't want to be involved at all.
What do you mean? You go to like every single festival. And my tea got colder. Shizune waves her hand in mock indignation.
Well, I have to have fun too, but you know, it's not the same thing.
Her spirits seem to have improved if she can manage to crack a joke.
I don't want anyone to make a point of me being involved. It's an hassle. I don't want that responsibility. Things are becoming too complicated now as is. The more I try to hype up the elections, the more involved I have to be. No one wants to play their hand yet, and it does feel like my time's over, even though it should.
Crossing her arms and leaning back, she grins her teeth together in frustration.
They're all so lazy. It's supposed to get them to do anything anywhere else. The elections will be an exciting event. It's illogical. Why does...
Would it for...
It's illogical. Why does everyone have to be so different if only there was some way to punish them? Like chaining the school to their desks. Voting is mandatory. If you don't vote, you get whipped.
Terrifying. I wonder how hypocritical it would be if I were to stay in bed on election day. With the flu, and a cold, and strep throat, and a sprained ankle. You should put yourself on one of these. Not as punishment, don't misunderstand. I love one of Misha's posters. Like this, it's kind of a neat idea. Misha was on something. It's a lot cuter than just text. I think you would like it. I think cute mascots would drum up some excitement.
Maybe if just Misha.
Why not me? Someone told me that this school has slightly more girls than boys. You have to consider that demographic too. She's like,
because you're ugly.
Shizune giggles audibly this time. I'm surprised, and when she sees my face, so is she. Her face flushed pink, embarrassed to have let out a sound, which is really confusing to say at the least. Yeah? Why don't you put yourself on it? She just waits my question away.
It's troublesome.
What do you mean troublesome? Everyone knows that you're in a student council. My stomach growls, making me realize that I'm hungry, and I thought, shouldn't I use the moment to deflect my question by changing the subject? But she can't hear, so how can she use that?
Is something wrong?
No, my stomach growled, okay.
I see.
She looks at the forgotten pastry on her desk and frowns, finding it inadequate for 2 people.
Let's go to the Shanghai. Ugh. If you are that hungry, it might be a little busy this late, but Yuko's working there today. We'll definitely get a table.
There is something worryingly underhanded in that smile. I'll pass. I've already been there twice this week, back to back. Shizune pouts, leaning back against her desk and scrunching up her posture in protest. What?
I'm disappointed you said no.
Who cares? Well, I can agree if you are everything. Exactly.
You don't give your opinion often enough anyway. It would be easiest for me if...
I mean, you don't even care about someone's opinion, so...
If it was like that, but not a very interesting, right? There are some decisions you should disagree with me on. Then, you have a duty to.
I mean, you don't care about that anyway. You would go like, ugh, let's compete with your opinion. That's all about. That's where it goes. Anyway, whatever. I feel like that short walk actually, kind of got me out of the recording zone. How am I supposed to know which is which?
It's easy.
No, it's not. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell whether you're joking or serious. Although since she communicates entirely in sign language, that would seem pretty obvious. I wouldn't say that that's all there is to it though. I remember when I had my heart attack, Iwanako wouldn't stop talking at first. Eventually I wished that she would just shut up! Or I would have, if I had any habit to have any kind of company at all. Gradually I stopped being so grateful. When we talked, I felt like it was nothing more than a ritualized exchanges of politeness. Iwanako tried extremely hard to obfuscate how she felt, which was that I was hopeless. In the end, her outer behavior matched her inner feelings. Or so you assume. For that reason I was able to accept it when one day she stopped showing up. I would say it was more of your fault given... I mean, again, kind of understandable you shut yourself up. But at the same time, I would say, you know, she was trying. And you weren't showing the will to try. Understandable why she would give up. Even though she considers herself a master at hiding her feelings, I was not surprised. I've heard that games like Shogun chess can tell you a lot about a person. I wish I knew that what Shizune thought they said about me. It could be that I'm a little more like Iwanako than I'd like to think. If I can only tie with Shizune by retreating, I suggest we should order out. Okay, that's going to be a shorter one. Let's end the episode here. We'll continue tomorrow. I'll actually prepare some food now. And... is that a different one? I mean, still disgusting, but... we'll continue tomorrow. That painting is still disgusting. I think it's different one. They must have changed it. Or it's a different floor or whatever. Still disgusting though. And that's how end. And that's how we'll begin the next episode with this. Then again, you might not see it if I manage to, by now, you know, make a little movement around the screen. Who knows? Anyway, for now, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you tomorrow and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.